I'm Tommy Daniels, and today I'm going to be sharing a story time about an eerie encounter that I had with a lady, or we had with a lady while traveling in Bangkok earlier this year. Stay tuned and enjoy. Okay, so I'm Tommy Daniels. I film about travel, and I actually thought it would be interesting to bring some of my travel stories here. Most times I do a vlog about the location, the flight experience, the luxury travel, and all of that, but also we've had some interesting experiences while traveling. So I think from time to time I would also be bringing some of those story times here. Let me know if that's something that you'd enjoy and you'd like to see. All right, so this story I've actually shared it for those of you that watched the Bangkok vlog. Most of you didn't see that video, so I may reshare it here. But if you've watched it, then you've probably, if you watched it to the end, or at least to a good place, then you'd have heard me talk about this. But if you didn't, I'm doing you the honor today. I feel like the story deserves a standalone video on my channel. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so earlier this year we went to Bangkok, Shay and I. Shay is my husband, by the way, in case you're new here. So earlier this year, we went to Bangkok, and while we're in Bangkok, we stayed at the Millennium Hilton in Bangkok. Now, it was along the pier or along a river, and basically there were boats, free shuttle boats that take you, like, I think they go like every 30 minutes or every hour, to like a pier, just basically across to the other side of Bangkok. So it was the Southern Pier station that it would take you to, that would drop you back at. So we decided, Shay and I, after breakfast one of the days, we decided to take and just get on the free shuttle boat and go to the other side and see what's there. And so, as I said, the other side of it was Southern Pier. That's the name of the station, or the ferry or boat station. It was also like a business station for those that were going on like boat cruises and stuff like that, but we just wanted to see what was in the area. So when we got there, it's literally like such a short trip from the hotel. Probably about 10 minutes or 15, if I remember correct. No, not even, yeah, probably about 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes long. And so when we got there, we got off the boat and then started looking around and realized there wasn't really anything much. By the way, this was a Sunday, so I don't know if that was also why it was quieter, but it was like a Sunday morning, so it was like 11 a.m. thereabouts. And so when we got there, we saw like a temple. I don't know if it was a temple or like a palace. If it was a temple, we weren't really interested, so we didn't really find stuff to do. To be honest, as we approached, or as soon as we got there, I just told Shay, you know what, we can get back on the same boat and go back, because it doesn't look like there's anything here. But I was like, no, let's just wait for the next one and just walk around and explore. And I was like, fine, I agreed. And then so we started walking around, and then a man approached us, and then he was saying, oh, where we're going. I was asking like, where we going, what we're doing. Like, yeah, we're just looking around, nothing much. And we were saying, oh, like, we're looking at this temple because the palace, and he was saying, oh yeah, you don't need to go there, you can go to this other side, and there's a market there, but they open at 3, and there's this and that, but they don't open here, come back at 3. So we're like, oh, cool. And then he said, oh, what hotel was your hotel? I didn't answer. I ignored it. I answered his other questions. He asked again. Then I think I didn't answer. Then I maybe like by the third time or so, he asked. And because I was with Shay, I was a little bit like more relaxed. If I was alone, I would not have answered, especially because the way he was so insistent and asking like, where's your hotel? So anyway, I realized that, I remember that there were 2 Hiltons. I'd seen one. We're staying at the Millennium Hilton, and I think there was a Garden Inn by Hilton or something as well. So I said, okay, if I just say Hilton, you don't know which one I'm talking about. So I just said Hilton, and then it was like, oh yeah, go yeah. Anyway, he directed us like towards the alleyway to just have a look. So there was an alleyway there. It's a little bigger than an alleyway, but not, it's still, I guess, just a larger alleyway. And then everyone that was coming, like getting on that pier or going to the pier, was going to have to walk through there to get there if you're on the other side. So not like our hotel side. So if you had gotten to that station and you wanted to get there, you had to go through the alleyway, because there wasn't really any other place to go through. So even if you wanted to go to the palace or the other thing, I thought that, okay, maybe nice to look at, you had to go first through this alleyway. But it's a larger alleyway, so it's not like a secluded area by any means. And so as we were walking, Shay and I were walking on the alleyway, people were on it, so it wasn't like secluded at all, as I said. And then someone just came, a lady just appeared next to us. Literally, my first thought was, is this an angel, or is this how angels appear? Because literally we didn't hear her walking up to us. She pretty much, as it was just as though she just appeared next to us. She was well dressed. She was like middle-aged woman, probably somewhere in her 40s, well dressed in like a skirt suit. Hair was well tucked in and wrapped. She actually looked like she was dressed like an air hostess. So yeah, that's probably the best way I can describe her dresses. So she was well dressed and she looked well put together. Had a handbag on her, and just looked like someone that was probably going home or just on her way to work or something like that. And then she was like, oh, she was really like all smile. She was like, oh, she works in a hotel, and that she said she saw us in a hotel. And so really she said that, I kind of just let my guard down and thought, oh, like, you know, it makes sense, so that's okay. And then she started saying, oh, like, you know, we should go. It's essentially some of the places that the previous man had said, like, we should go to, like, you know, there's a market just across the bridge, and we could do that. And I was like, yeah, that, you know, he said it opens later, so maybe we'll just do that later. And then she was like, oh, like, you know, I know your country. I've been to your country once. Now, we didn't tell her where we're from. Obviously, we are we're black, and I don't think we necessarily sound like British, that it's so like overpowering that, oh, like, you know, they sound so British now. So for her to say, I know your country, like what country, like we didn't tell you anything about our country. And thinking about it, she never actually said the UK, but she was talking about Europe. She was talking about like, oh wow, she's come to Sweden, and her sister took her there, and things are expensive there and stuff like that. Like, oh, that's nice, you know, all of that. And then we just kept on walking. And then when we got to like the point where you needed to get on the bridge, I think at some point I got a little uncomfortable with her. So I was already, so she was, by the way, just to describe the scene, she was on Shay's side. Shay was in the middle and I was next to Shay. So I was holding Shay's hand. So by the time we were getting close to the bridge, or where we were supposed to get on the bridge, I was like, sorry, already like sort of tapping Shay like quietly, or just rubbing his palm, and because I got a bit uncomfortable with her and the questions and all of that. Even though she was being so like smiley and like, oh, I'm from your country, I just work in your hotel and all of that. And then she proceeds to say, so we stopped there and said, oh yeah, we'll just turn back. She's like, no, like, you know, we should go to the other side of the bridge, and she will take us to maybe like a store there. We can see like designer stuff or fake designer stuff. I was like, do I look fake to you? But yeah, no, I was like, no, we're not interested, like, you know, in that, but we'll just walk back later. So we stopped there, and she was still trying to convince us, and at this point we were like in a semicircle because three of us were there. And then she touched Shay. She was like, oh, like you, like in our gesticulation. I was really uncomfortable with that. I tried to like move him back a little. And we're like, okay, we're not going. Anyway, she got the point, we weren't going. We're going to go back to the boat station or pair. And then she stopped. So she looked like someone that was on her way to work, right? So you'd expect that she would just like, you know, walk on and go. She did it. She stopped there for us. I kept on looking back. She kept on saying like, why am I looking back? I was like, I just want to know, like, you know, where exactly she's going to go, what she's going to do. She stayed there for a while. She, like, you know, maybe pretended to be on the phone, or and then she stayed there. And we believe that this woman started walking right back behind us, like not behind us, but like just walking back where she came from, after saying no, she works in a hotel and she was just like going home or something. I can't remember if she said that. And then she followed us all the way, not followed us, she was walking behind us and came all the way to the boat as well. And we stayed there. And then this woman went and sat behind, like just at the boat, like she had her food. So she wasn't going anywhere. So she came from there. At that point, I realized that she definitely was not from our hotel. She didn't even know. So the only way she knew what hotel we was, because she mentioned Hilton, I think, and the only way she knew was either she was listening, she was behind us when that guy was asking us like where we from, what hotel are we staying, or the guy actually told her. So they probably worked together either ways. That would be my thoughts. Actually thinking about how he was insistent on asking, like, you know, what hotel we're from. It was almost like giving her information, or like she was just like, you know, behind and eavesdropping and hearing everything we're saying. So she walked right back and she was eating. She had a sit there. She was taking a drink and all of that. So she wasn't doing any of that. Now, when the next boat came, she got up and walked around again. I don't know if she was like scouting for her next victim, but I don't know what she did after that. She kind of walked away a little bit so that I couldn't see, and I obviously had to get on the boat to leave. Now, what exactly was this woman's motive? I don't know, but I have three hypotheses, or three thoughts on what she might have been doing. The first one was that she was just trying to lure us to the store that she was talking about across the bridge. Maybe she gets commission from there. and she just wanted us to come buy something, and then maybe she'll get paid that way, or maybe it's actually a store that she owns or works in or something like that. That would be the nicest, I think, and the best case scenario. Number two is that yes, she was trying to lure us to a store, but maybe there is not necessarily, maybe they could have scammed us, not just like about buying. So it was like either scammed us, stolen from us, or done something like that there. Number three is that she had something a lot more sinister planned, or they had something a lot more sinister planned, and I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. Could be kidnapping, could be anything. Like, just think about like anything. So those are my hypotheses, and I think that it really shook me, and the fact that I was there with Shay, still, like, you know, she was not, yeah, still try to do whatever it is she tried to do. Anyway, that brings me to the end of the video, but I just wanted to say, especially when you're traveling, either even if you're in a group, or especially if you're alone, please be careful, like, sort of, and be aware of your surroundings. The man that approached us first and was retailing us, so go here, go here. He looked like someone that just worked at that station, right? At that boat station or pear station, right? So he just looked like someone that's just being nice and just into the tourism and saying, "Oh, visit this place, go here, go there," right? He looked harmless, but again, like, you know, my flag started going up when he was just, you know, so keen on where we were, like the hotel we were staying. I wanted to know, and obviously in hindsight, I realized that it was so that the lady could kind of lead with that, because it made us feel like, oh, okay, she's from our hotel. So my suggestion or my advice to you when you're traveling is just be on guard. Don't, like, just let your guard down. Even if you're in a group, don't feel like, oh, like, you're in a group, we can overpower. Like, just be very careful out there, especially if you're traveling by yourself. Be extra vigilant. It doesn't hurt to be extra vigilant, and to no, don't go to places with people. Like, it's okay, they could have said, oh, like, you know, it's just that place across and we could go on our own, but like the fact that she really wanted to take us, I don't know what our plan was. Like, thank God that, you know, nothing bad happened and we're able to, like, just go back. But for some other people, it doesn't really end there. It doesn't, even if you're a scam, like, no one wants to be scammed, no one wants to be extorted. So even if it was something, things like that, it could still be quite traumatic. But how much more for something even a lot more sinister? So my advice is be careful when you're traveling. Don't let your guard down, and just be safe. Cover yourself with the blood of Jesus if you're a Christian, and yeah, be wise in the things that you share with people. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tommy Daniels. Goodbye.